Ladies and gentlemen, this is the new Jeep Grand Cherokee and this is now officially on sale in India at a price of 77.5 lakh rupees ex-showroom. Now at this price point, it takes on especially good rivals from the German stable, and of course at that price the competition is going to be pretty tough for it. So what has this Grand Cherokee got in terms of design, in terms of features, in terms of the engine options, and what more to expect? Well, let's give you a quick walk around. Now starting with the design, if you see the design, and you can find similarities between this and the Meridian. Now this of course is not based or does not take any similarities from the Meridian. It's the Meridian that has taken on the design of the Grand Cherokee, but because the Grand Cherokee has been launched late in India, that's why Indians will have a tendency to kind of associate this design with that of the Meridian. But that said, this 5th generation Grand Cherokee, well, India is the first right-hand drive market where this has been launched. So in terms of design, yes, it's got a huge exterior and it's got the proper boxy SUV dimensions. It also has these massive alloy wheels here which give it a nice muscular stance. Even up front, you've got the traditional 7-slat Jeep grille. Once you move up again to the side, you can see the Grand Cherokee badging, and if you look at the profile, it's got a very clean design with a strong shoulder line, and of course it has got a good height. And once you move back to the rear further, you can see these sleek tail lamps which complement the headlamp design. So there's a very nice flow in terms of design that comes from the front to the rear. So overall, yes, the Grand Cherokee looks big, it looks expensive, looks premium, has a nice towering road personality. The only slight thing I see missing in this is that it probably just doesn't have that wow factor. And I think probably that has to do with the fact that the Meridian was launched here earlier, which, like I said, borrows from this design. But if you keep that thought process apart, I think the Grand Cherokee is a good looking SUV. Now let's take a look at the boot space of the Grand Cherokee. And it's got its electric tailgate, and you can see the space inside. I can go as deep as this. So it's got a massive boot. So yes, if you do plan to take your Grand Cherokee out for a long weekend or a long drive, I think luggage space should not be a problem at all. Now once you get inside of the cabin of the Grand Cherokee, well, this is where the vehicle really shines. Like I said earlier, the exterior is great but not wow. The interior is wow. Now, of course, taking the center stage is the center console, wherein you have this nicely sized touchscreen, and of course it works well. The visibility is nice, the user interface is simple. Also, you look at the instrument cluster. It's a fully digital instrument cluster. It's customizable, so you can see what you want the way you want. So that again adds a lot to the convenience for the driver. Also, the co-passenger gets a screen here. It's not on right now. It's a stationary vehicle, but that's one more new thing. And interestingly, if you look at the IRVM, it's again a digital display. So it's not just a glass. You can see it's taking a feed from a camera. So again, that's something very unique in this segment or in any vehicles when you consider the kind of vehicles that are on sale in India. Beyond that, in terms of feature list, the Grand Cherokee really ranks very well. The front seats, they have heating as well as cooling function. The steering comes with a heating function, and beyond that, if you look at the other features, you've got climate control, you've got this massive panoramic sunroof which can again flip open from the first half. The seats themselves are quite comfortable. There are enough storage spaces all around inside the cabin, and in terms of that makes it a very comfortable as well as a practical vehicle at the same time. So yes, as far as the cabin quality is concerned, the feature list is concerned, from the front occupant's perspective, the Jeep Grand Cherokee really ranks and scores very high. Now once in the back seat of the Grand Cherokee, again the good story continues. Well, it's a massive vehicle, it's got a long wheelbase, and as a result of that, you get very good space in terms of leg room, knee room. So, well, I'm 5 feet 8 inches, but if you're taller than me, again, space should not be a problem. Also, in terms of headroom, you can see there's a lot of clearance, and that's because the roof does not have any kind of a sloping design. It's a straight flowing roof, so that just liberates a lot more space inside the cabin. If you look at the rear seat, well, it's a nice seat, and in terms of width, it can have 3 people sitting abreast. In terms of cushioning, again, the seat is nice. It's got good amount of cushioning. It's got this nice cushioned armrest as well. You've got these points here, which are Type C and USB points. Of course, you also get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So in terms of connectivity, there is a lot in the Grand Cherokee. As far as the seat, the overall comfort here in the rear, well, like I said, the seats are good. The only thing that could have been slightly better for a vehicle of this size, well, I think the under thigh support could have been a bit better. It's not bad, but it does leave room for improvement, particularly for taller occupants. Well, I'm sure they would find some scope for improvement in a very short span of time that they spend on the seat. Also, to keep you happy, this car gets a very nice Alpine audio system, and like I said, the feature list is rich. Even at the back, the seats are heated but not cooled. Now, I'm not sure how useful that's gonna be, because I mean, unless you're spending some of those cold winter months up north, well, it could come in handy there. But I think it's the cooling function that the front seats get that makes more sense for a country like India. But that's the cabin overall, and I think for the kind of price you pay, it looks well. It has got a good amount of features, it's spacious and it's luxurious. So yes, the Grand Cherokee does strike the right boxes. Now, we haven't driven the Grand Cherokee yet. We will shortly. So I can't tell you how is it in terms of driving, but what I can tell you is it comes with a 2-liter petrol engine. Now, the Grand Cherokee has been launched only in one single variant in India. One single variant that has got all top of the line stuff. And that gets a 2-liter petrol engine, 270 horsepower, 400 Newton meters of torque, and an 8-speed automatic gearbox. That's what you get in terms of powertrain option. In terms of off-road capability, well, of course, it's a Jeep, so it does get a 4x4 system and a lot of cool electronics to make that off-road journey a lot more easier, even for people who are not used to doing hardcore off-roading. So do stay tuned in to TOI Auto. We will soon be bringing you a very detailed and interesting review of the Grand Cherokee. But for now, this is all that you need to know about the Grand Cherokee. And like I said, with the Grand Cherokee, Jeep is now taking the fight to the Germans, who have dominated the luxury SUV segment for a long time in India. Whether it will succeed or not, well, that's going to be very interesting to find out. So stay tuned.